be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continually. We need only open our hearts and minds. So um, pay attention to the signs from the universe, from the creator, within nature as you're going on your walks. The thing is, for me, for example, when I would go on long walks, now I don't really because I'm with the kids, so we're in an area and I'm just walking around that area when I'm with them. But like usually I'll be pacing and I'll get clarity because when you're sitting still and you're not moving, that's when your thoughts feel stuck because your blood is not flowing and you're not moving to get those thoughts flowing, right? They flow. Thoughts flow through you by you moving, right? Just like the water flows as it's moving. So there's signs in nature and there's signs that the universe wants to tell you, but it's when you get out in nature and go on those long walks is when you'll hear that. And then probably you're seeing a lot of angel numbers and you're just like bypassing them at this point because you've been seeing them for so long. But pay attention to those signs as well. Like look them up. Think about what I've been doing lately is that when I see an angel number, I start to think about what was I just thinking about, right? Was it about a decision? Was it about action that I need to take? Like, what was I just thinking about? Whatever the thought was, that angel number is confirmation that you're on the right path, whatever you were thinking about. So that's how I start to treat my angel numbers as whether it's 1010, whether it's 333, whether it's 1111. I stopped playing that, putting it as, oh, this is twin flame, this is divine, this is love. No, I just started to see it as like, what was I thinking about in that moment? Because this applies to what it means, right? So pay attention to the subtle signs in nature, things around you, coincidences. There is no such thing as coincidence that happen because there's always a message from a person maybe that someone sent you, a reading that you came across, a message about motivation, whatever, something that you came across that resonated with you. Those are all subtle signs what the universe is trying to guide you to do and understand. And then manifestation. It's funny because we got two cards about manifestation, that your manifestations are coming through and the creator sees that you've been manifesting, but now we're getting into the nitty gritty of it. So this is such a beautiful card. Look at that gold and look at how she is, and like she just has a crown on her head. This is really beautiful. Wow. Like a fairy that just has that crown. Like she is divine. She is a leader. She is like, she sees her worth by that crown. She's like, I see my worth. I am this divine queen, this divine presence. And it says, be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now write it down on paper, manifestation step 1. So think about when was the last time you wrote everything down on paper of what your manifestations were. And the thing is, maybe you've been manifesting like, I don't want to say small things, but things like on a daily, like, okay, you want to get fitter, you want to get, you want to take better care of your health, you want to get more exercise, and those are all good manifestations. But maybe you need to be clear about what your future outlook is, what you're working on these passions, but what do you see coming to fruition from these passions? Like, why are you doing these passions? Like, you're doing it because you're being led to do it, but what do you really want out of this? It's okay to not have that expectation of something being out of it, but like, we shouldn't have that expectation, but we should be clear about how we see our future play. So the thing that we're doing, whether it's recording messages, like say for example, we don't have an expectation that this is going to turn into a source of income, a financial stream, whatever, right? Don't have that expectation. Just do it because you're meant to, like you're being called to do it. Channel messages that come in, share them with the world because you're meant to. But think about what your future wants to look like. So you could put into your future thing that, hey, I want to be having personal readings with people and serving the collective on a one-on-one basis, and I want to have 10 readings a month, right? You could put that in your manifestation for it to come through, right? Don't have the expectation of it, of like, it's a fine line, right? Because it's like, you can still put, when you're working on your passions, like when people are doing a business, they say, I want to make $5,000, I want to da-da-da-da-da, but you can put all those things. But if they're not coming through in this moment, it's okay. It's not, you're not doing it for that. But you can have manifestations and hope for it to turn into that, right? So start being clear about what your future wants to look like, where you want to live, Who do you want around you? What type of people do you want around you? What kind of love fulfills you? External love, friendship love, family love, partner love. Like, what is the love that makes you feel full and whole? Is it when you're understood? Is it when you connect on ideas? Like, what is your definition of love? What kind of love do you want, right? Like, start writing down. Maybe you haven't written things down in a long time, but be very clear and concise. You see that your life is a reality, that you can paint it. But until you take more time to really be nitty gritty, right? You probably just wrote down vague things, right? Like, I want this, I want that, I want that. But until you get really nitty gritty of this is what you want and why do you want it, right? What is the purpose behind it? Then how do you expect the universe to really make those manifestations come to fruition? I think that you're only asking for the bare minimum when you could be asking for so much more. And the thing is, it's like, you need to know why you want these things, because if you get them, then they won't be fulfilling because you just started to write things down but not really knowing if they were fulfilling to you. And sometimes we don't know something's fulfilling until we experience it, and that's how we learn the lesson of whether this was right for us or not. But you're such on a path where you're listening to your intuition more and you're really understanding yourself, to start being concise on, like, everything. Like, do you want to live in a city, or do you want to live in nature? And if you're living in nature right now, is it fulfilling towards you? Do you feel like you're maximizing that experience? Do you feel like you're really joyful and happy in that place? If you're in a city, do you feel like you're joyful and happy in that place, or do you feel stressed out? And if you want to stay in the city, do you need to go to a smaller city maybe? Or can you find communities where you feel fulfilled and connected to? Like, we have to become more concise with what we want out of this life, right? Like, write it down on paper over and over again. Write down new manifestations, create a vision board, do whatever you need to get those manifestations out there, because the creator can't bring in your canvas, can't draw your canvas unless you draw it for yourself, unless you write down what you want, or else he's going to just keep sending you stuff based on your frequency, but it might not be what you want. So be concise with what you want. So the last question I want to ask with another deck, the Green Witch Oracle deck, is if the collective does all these things, works on these things that I just mentioned, and keeps seeing the world in how the universe sees you, right? The first roll that I did, what can they expect in the future? What does the future hold if they keep on this path? And the first one was mushroom, and this says recycling, breaking down problems. So what you can expect in the future is that you're going to be using your mind to recycle and break down problems. So everything that you've learned from other people, you take that in, just like how I mentioned the naked moon, just how I mentioned the arcanic. Like, I take all that information, I absorb it, and then I apply it to my life, and then also I put the puzzle pieces together of what that means on a bigger scale sometimes, right? Well, most of the time I do that, right? Sometimes they've already broken it down. I'm like, okay, that fits. That's what's going to be implemented in my belief system. And it's like, I'm not stealing their ideas. I'm telling you who it's from. But it's like those ideas become my ideas, and then it connects other puzzle pieces together that make me understand things on a deeper scale. It's like this prison planet theory. How many people are talking about this prison planet people because they've learned it from other people, and they've also read the Sumerian text, and they've adopted this idea. But it's not a new idea that was adopted. It's not a new thought process that was adopted. No, even the naked moon and the arcanic, they're learning from other books and stuff that they learned, and then they're taking the idea and they're applying it to themselves, and they're applying it to their collective and teaching other people based on the information and how they put the puzzle pieces together, exactly like what I do. So you're meant to be breaking down problems. So based on all the experiences that you went through, the hardships, the pain, the isolation, the hurt, like all of these things that you've been through in life, these experiences have given you the wisdom to share with the world, and also the knowledge of all these sources of people that you've gained it and books that you've read have allowed you to take all of that information and help other people through that, break down their problems, break through their barriers, go through their spiritual awakening, help them understand and break through the programming of the 3D mindset. So you're quote unquote recycling ideas and bringing into one to formulate your own idea on how this all makes sense and how this can help the collective on a bigger scale. So that's what your purpose is to break down the problems that are in this world. It could even be running a charity organization where you create sustainable living for people that are in need, right? Like there's so many problems that are in this world, quote unquote, that we need to find solutions for. Not even quote unquote, there are problems that are in this world, but it's just because of this 3D reality of people being in such a hard place that they can't even manifest because they're just trying to be in survival mode, right? So they're not fortunate enough to practice gratitude and all the stuff they could, but they're in such a dire, stressed out, trauma state that they can't even think outside of that except how am I going to get food and water? How am I going to survive the day and not end up unalived, right? So that's your purpose, is that if you keep on this path, this is what you're meant to do. And this is what buds, right? You see this? And new beginnings, expansion. So by you learning all these ideas, tapping into the inner wisdom that exists within you, putting puzzle pieces together, what I just said, you're budding new ideas, you're budding a new way of thinking, you're budding a new mindset that is going to allow other people to bud the same mindset, that's going to help transform people. It's going to create new beginnings in this collective. It's going to expand this collective mindset. Like everyone is such a unique individual that the Creator guides us down this path so that we can bud these ideas, so that we can help people on a bigger scale, so we can be a service. Because when we say that we're not supposed to save the world, it's not about saving the world. It's about being a service to get the collective that wants to learn on a higher frequency. Because we all, our purpose, no matter if you want to see it or not, no matter if you want to be stuck in the 3D or not, is to raise our frequency so that we become one with Source again, so that we tap into other dimensions. That's our whole purpose, to return home, back to Source. So the people that want to learn, you're meant to help them get there. Not forcing the people that don't want to learn, that want to stay stuck. They'll have their time when they break free from that, or not. They'll stay lifetime after lifetime staying in that mind. So again, what does the future hold? It leads to the leaves, which is renewal, revival, progress. So the leaves, right, they always shed in the winter, and then they are revived in summer, right? So it's one of those things that you're shedding this old skin, this old programming, this old way of thinking. If you stay on this path, you're going to shed it all. Don't give up. Keep going. And you're going to be revived as a new person, basically, as who your soul was always meant to be, who always existed within you. And progress, that it's a slow burning progress, that in the future you're going to see the progress because you're going to be making a difference in other people's lives. You're truly going to be expanding this collective, expanding people's consciousness. And that is the progress that you're meant to do in this world, right? By you doing the internal progress, it's going to reflect on the external. Whether you realize it or not now, because you're just sharing messages and who it lands on, let's say, it's all meant to happen, because maybe people don't see your videos now, but eventually, through you keep doing the external work, through you not giving up, there's going to be progress that's had internally and externally. And yeah, so it's like a renewal process that you're going through. Like, I always use this example, the caterpillar going through the cocoon. It needs to struggle, go through all these things that's uncomfortable, and until it struggles and forces itself to break free, it's stuck in that cocoon. So it must do that in order to come back out as this beautiful butterfly. So it's the same thing as you. You must go through these struggles, these internal struggles, maybe external struggles as well, so that you can come out as this beautiful, transformed butterfly who understands things on a deeper level, right? And then this is the reward, right? Although we shouldn't be focusing on the external, but this is what's to come. The 10 of Cups, basically, fruit. Achievement, success. By you going on this journey, you're going to get internal achievement and success, because you're going to be this transformed person who's clear, who feels peace, who's not going through this battle of anger and